thanks for joining me for my World Lymphedema month-long celebration with Fastn'Go bandages with Amy Rivera. We are going to now get into the deep and dirty of bandaging. So Amy, can you tell us, for the lymphies and for all the people out there, why should we bandage?
I would love to tell you, Amanda. Bandaging is actually the gold standard for lymphedema treatment. And if you are like myself or anyone else out there who sometimes we struggle with wearing compression garments, bandages act as the compression garment itself. And I personally, when I put a bandage on, it helps me move the lymphatic fluid out of my leg. So when I move, the bandage does this, and it helps the fluid move with it, and it reduces faster than it would for me with a compression garment. So bandaging is the gold standard for reduction phase. I use it as a maintenance phase, and sometimes do you use it as a maintenance phase too? I do too. And sometimes I just need a break from my compression garments, you know? Sometimes you just need a break.
I'm going to jump on in here. So the nice thing about bandaging is that it's a custom fit every single time. So whether you're at the biggest size possible or you're at the smallest size, you're always going to have this bandage going to fit you equally all the time. And for those of you who may not know, once you either grow out of compression or you get too small for your compression garments, those garments obviously become obsolete, because if you have too much fluid, you can't obviously put on a small garment. And if you have a lot less of a swelling, sorry, you guys, a lot less swelling, the compression garment doesn't sit on the skin very well. So the nice thing about people getting a custom fit every time is through these hybrid bandages. Now, speaking about hybrid bandages, I remember, I know why these things work so well. Do you want to take the lead about how that there's a short stretch bandage and a long stretch bandage in these bandages? Like, why do these bandages work so much better compared to the old system of the foam bandaging and the short stretched?
Amanda's holding the bandage, and I don't know if you can see, but in the middle, there's a black line. You see that? Okay, so when we bandage, first and foremost, some of us get a little confused on where we overlay the second layer. And this line that you see that Amanda's holding in the bandage, that is your guide to where you should put the second part of the layer to overlap. So you make sure, and your thumb, your connector, and see how Amanda is doing that. She's evenly overlaying each section as it goes up the arm, and that is a guide for you. Now, when we have short stretch bandages or long stretch bandages, either way, we don't have a guide, nor do we have two bandages in one. We have the short stretch and the long stretch together in this hybrid bandage. So not only does it cut the time down in wrapping your arm or your leg, but it also cuts down the amount of bandages you need to use per application.
Well, and I think too, the thing about compression that it took me a long time to figure out. So you're going to hear the words inelastic bandaging and elastic bandaging. And now elastic bandaging is exactly as it sounds, like, you guys. It allows elasticity and pliability and flexibility. And the great thing for elastic bandaging is that you can don it on, you can put it over your feet, you can put it over your arm, you can put it on top of things. But the problem with elastic bandaging is that sometimes there's just too much give. So it's not always the best type of compression, because you can have weak spots in your garments after wear and tear. You might have lobules where you might need to have a little bit more stiff kind of compression. So elastic bandaging, it's good, but it's not necessarily the best for helping you reduce and to maintain your size. Conversely, inelastic bandage, or something that doesn't have stretch, is considered the best version of compression, because, as Amy said, it's going to protect your leg or your arm like a wall, allowing for, when your muscles contract, allowing for the muscle to push the lymph against this inelastic stocking or inelastic garment to push the fluid up into an area that can handle the lymph. So the fantastic thing about these products is that it combines an inelastic bandage with an elastic bandage all in one. So you get the benefits of the elasticity, but the benefits of the inelasticity. And as well, as you see me, of course, I put it underneath my armpit. I finished off here.
I'm just impressed that you're able to do this with your arm, because as a leg lymphy, do you know how long how long it's taken me to do this in the arm?
I did really good, right?
You
So,
did,
and that
you
was,
did.
and that was the other thing with the bandaging.
Yeah.
When you have arm lymphes, they're very hard to don on for bandaging. So I find that my arm lymphes are just not compliant. Sorry, I'm totally stealing your show here, Amy. You just
Oh
sit
no,
back and you
I'm steal away. Look, you're doing a great job. And you guys see how she has the thumb piece. So Amanda didn't have to hold that piece down or tape it or anything. She just connected her thumb into it, and then it acts as an anchor. So then she can continue to properly bandage the arm in a safe manner.
and
Look
I
at
have
that.
full range of motion. I can jump. I can like do lots of stuff. The other benefit of this, actually, I'm going to reverse. Going back to Amy's equal gradient compression, because there is that black mark on the garment itself, I knew where to equally bandage my next layer. So now I have a complete seamless wrap up my arm, and I'm not going to have dead spots. I'm not going to have like a tourniquet. I'm not going to be able to have inconsistencies in my wrapping, because Amy and I, we both know, or anybody who does wrapping is an art form. You'll have a lot of newbies that will be asked to bandage, and they have the hardest time. The wraps constantly fall down. They do it too tight. They do it too loose. And it's just super frustrating. So it doesn't take a simple act. It takes a very complex kind of method. And this hybrid bandaging makes it super simple for anybody at home to do it for themselves. As you saw, I put this on while talking. And again, I'm not good with arm wrapping because I'm used to my legs, but I think I did a beautiful job. The other unique thing, and again, I love talking about this product because I actually do use it myself personally. I use it at nighttime wear. I use it when I travel because they're super easy to pack. I use it during the daytime when I exercise. You guys have seen me exercise in them, same with Amy as well. But the garments themselves, they actually have a hook, or I guess at the end of the garment. So the cool thing about the fastening system, and I'm sorry, you can see mine is all dirty because I wear it all the time, but they have this hook on, let me try to see what you guys can see from your side. So here's the hook. So you slip the hook through the eyelet on one end of the bandage, and then the other hook will slip on the Velcro itself. So now I'm not going to unravel the way how other garments do or other bandages do. So I'm completely fastened. I'm completely in. Yeah, Amy, you want to use yours. So there's a double hook Velcro system.
Right here is what I'm just showing you.
Yeah. So if you just put that hook into my eyelet there, and then again it hooks, and then that double hook will wrap around either on the leg or on the arm, wherever you have it, to make sure that it stays secure. And I think that's the best thing about Fastn'Go. Does anybody have any questions about the arm bandaging since we're here? I'm going to do a demonstration on the leg bandaging because it's a little bit different. Can you wear them all day and night? Does it replace wearing a compression garment?
Because I'm in a decongestive phase right now, I am wearing them all day and all night, except for when I do shower. They work, for me personally, just as effective as the traditional bandages that you would get, you know, if you ordered from lymphedema products or any other location, you would get all the bandages and the foam and the little toe bandages and stuff. This works just as good, reducing, and I do wear it at night just like Amanda does. And I also wear it in the gym, and I wore it all day today.
I think it comes down to functionality. So there's a couple, it's a loaded question because of the fact that I think it depends on what's the goal, right? It's like your life. Like, what is your goal that you're trying to achieve? If you really need to decongest, then we would recommend wearing them as long and as often as possible. But here is the thing. You'll hear people get super upset when they say, oh, my compression is falling down. We want to celebrate that because the bandages are actually working. The purpose of bandaging and compression is to reduce size, more so bandaging than compression, because compression kind of maintains. Bandaging actually reduces. So again, if your bandages start to slip down, celebrate that win, quickly unravel, re-roll up the bandages, and re-wrap because you are losing size. You can wear them daytime and nighttime, but it also comes down to practicality. Are you going out to a formal event? I don't think I personally would wear my bandages to a formal event, but everybody's different. Are you going to be doing, for example, if you are reducing and you do know that you do lose size, and if you're out in the middle of a public place, are you able to unwrap and rewrap if you're out publicly? Versus, do you have the ability to stay at home in case you're decongesting and they do lose, you do lose your size? So I think it comes down to practicality, and it comes down to just having another tool in your toolbox that you can choose to apply morning, noon, or night.
Perfectly said. Absolutely. Yeah. Practicality is the best answer.
And I think too that what happens is that Amy has a full tickle trunk of compression products. I have a full tickle trunk of compression products. They vary in sizes, style, and just overall usage. And I think for Lymphies, we really need to get the message across for people to diversify their products.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I think you and I, we've tried probably every product that there's that, and for me personally, the bandages just work better for me. I did see a question if there were different sizes for arms. We do have different sizes. And sometimes you only need one bandage, maybe you need two. It just really depends on the circumference of the limb. It's up, every person is different, just like our lymphatic system and just like our fingerprint. So our treatments may be a little different from, my treatments may be different from Amanda's, and Amanda's may be different from someone like Stephanie or anybody else that's on this call. It just really depends on the treatment protocol and what your therapist thinks the treatment protocol should be. And just like Amanda said, just the functionality of it, and what is the preference and why you need it for your lymphedema.
Yeah, they do come in different widths and lengths, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
They do come in different lengths, and
I would recommend for anybody that's considering on purchasing them, buy a pair to wash and buy a pair to wear. That way, if let's say you get your kit and you have a larger limb, for example, and the length that you had ordered wasn't the perfect fit, well, it's okay. Now you have your wash pair on backup that you can use until you completely decongest. And I think, again, there's such a good investment. I throw mine in the laundry under a delicate wash warm, and then I throw mine in the dryer. To be honest with you, you can hang to dry, but again, I've had these since last year's World Lymphedema Day celebration, and I still haven't had to replace them or anything.
So anything for fingers and toes. Right now, we don't have anything for fingers and toes, but what we do is you can, those little toe and finger wraps. Okay. I'm terrible at those. Okay. So I wear a toe cap, and I've seen people wear finger or gauntlets, and that really helps as well.
Yeah. And same thing for the feet too. Like, so what I would recommend, I hated the gauze, like the teeny tiny gauze around my toes. Like I couldn't be bothered, you guys. So your toe caps or your finger gauntlets, and then just wrap over top of that for your swelling. Again, you're going to start to recognize that a lot of these products, you start to blend and mesh, and this product works really well for this, and this product works really well for that. So it's not necessarily like it has to come from all the same place. So get a little creative with your compression so that it's actually doable for you and you actually want to wear it. I'm going to move on to some leg bandaging because there were some points that I didn't actually get to talk about. I'm going to talk while doing a leg wrap. I'm a lot better at this than I am for the arm. And my Velcro, I'm going to have to steal from my arm because I only have one hook and like the one double fastening system. So I'm going to have to place another one. And the nice thing about these bandages is that because of the elastic bandage on the inside of the inelastic bandage, this is where the benefit of these self-bandagings come into play. Because again, if you've ever tried to bandage yourself, you either do it too tight or too loose. So the nice thing about this bandaging is that actually, I'll try to demonstrate here. Hold on, without losing my spot. But you'll see that it is actually elastic. There is a give to it. So it can only be pulled so tightly to prevent over tightening. For those of you who had the idea, like I'm sure many Lymphies out there, where I was like, I have swelling, I'll just put as much compression on as possible and squeeze it out of my leg.
That was me.
And we don't want to over tighten because it does cause permanent damage. So these bandages have been basically seamed almost at every third of the bandage in order to prevent over tightening. Amy is also holding up there our favorite product to help minimize any fibrosis or any additional swelling. So you can put foam pads and any other kind of material that you felt that you need to decongest and to eat away at that fibrosis underneath these bandages. The other thing is that I get questions all the time. Do you need to have a cotton stockinette? No, because there's some cotton. You directly put these on top of my skin. And of course, you guys, I have pants on because I'm pretty sure you didn't want the full show, the X-rated show today. But so when you see me having pants on and then my bandages over top, I actually put my bandages on my skin and then my pants, but then you wouldn't see the bandages. So for TD purposes only, I will bandage on top, but this product can go directly on your skin.
I do the same thing. Or sometimes when I just want to wear, sometimes I'll put a compression garment on and then I'll put my leggings on like Amanda has, and then I'll wrap over it if I want some extra compression, if I'm going to the gym or whatnot. And that feels really good to me as well. And to Amy's question, and Amanda pointed out, I'm literally unwrapping my leg while I'm on this Zoom with you guys. So you can see everything I'm using during my decongestive phase. And I use this part as if I had a little kidney shape to go around my ankle area or my my foot area. And then I wrap the bandages around that. And next thing you know, I have a bone again. There's, the fluid is gone. So you can absolutely use this stuff underneath the bandage.
So it's so easy. I can undo and redo like that. And it's not even like magic TD. So the other part that I really love about these bandages, about the bandages, is that you're going to notice that you can purchase them that actually have a hook. Hold on. Hook.
Nope. Yep.
On, on them. There you go. And so, like I said, because the ending bandage does have an eyelet, you just, in order to continue wrapping, you just put that little hook into that little eyelet, and then you just keep going.
So you can only stretch it so far. Yes, there's a certain amount of stretch it gives, and then you can tell when you've reached that capacity of that stretch for your limb. But you don't want to stretch it too much to where it doesn't have that give. See? Now, so the reason Amanda doesn't need toe caps is because she probably has lymph nodes on the bottom of her foot, unlike myself. And some of us primary people, we may not. So Amanda can just wrap her leg just like that without toe caps or those little wraps that we put all over our toes and we rip them off in the middle of the night, those things. But if you prefer to have your toes done, just grab a toe cap and put it on there because it will keep the swelling down.
If you have additional swelling and it doesn't seem to go down, sometimes the use of foam or chip pads will really make a big difference. So hopefully that tip helps you. Mary says that she prefers wrapping. So it is safe to just only wrap and no compression garments. Again, I think we sort of answered that question a little bit earlier. Don't just assume one product is going to be enough for you. And I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm trying to get you to have a lifestyle that you feel that you have flexibility and comfortability. You need to try what works for you. You might be able to wear compression exercise pants for all I know. That might be your sense of comfort and sense of support. Again, bandaging, compression garments, whatever it is, you are going to want to have multiple tools in your toolbox. And please just don't think that there's only one product that's going to make this condition better. Amy and I both use a variety of products to manage and treat this condition because I have flare-ups, she has flare-ups, different times of the month. There's always something that's coming as a curveball towards us, and not every product is going to be able to cover us for those flares and those inconsistencies of managing this disease.
Absolutely. And I saw a question about abdominal swelling, and I'll have to tell you, that's a little tricky. I was just talking to Amanda about this before this call. I am struggling with abdominal swelling, and I'm just going to put it out there for everyone who is struggling with this as well as vaginal swelling. When you have primary lymphedema, some secondary as well, it's a common thing we fight. So what I do is, this is just a personal, something I try, just like Amanda said, we have so many different tools in our toolbox, and I have to get creative and she has to get creative. And this was a little bit of my creative mind thinking, but I use the L&R vaginal pad. And you like that? I mean, I love it. So it looks like this, but it's larger.
It's like a kidney, it's like an hourglass shape.
And you wear it. And then what I do is I'll wear compression shorts of some sort with it. And I will wrap my leg. And sometimes if I don't need my leg all the way wrapped, I'll take an extra one of these and I'll wrap it around the L&R vaginal pad. And then that's really what I did when I was training with Amanda, because I had to keep the swelling out of my abdominal area. And it worked really, really well. Yeah, the abdominal is so tricky. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, for sure. And I encourage my clients, because some of them really like to cycle, wear it while cycling, because again, the vaginal discharge that people get, or the leaking, again, the skin is so thin there and it's so delicate and it's so painful. Put an extra pad on, really support yourself. And I hope that helps. There's a question that came in about, do they go up to higher? Yes, they do. I just didn't go all the way up, you guys. I'm not going to wrap all the way up through my glutes. But again, it depends on the length. It depends on the hooking system. They do go up high enough. Never wrapped due to being fluid pills for 42 years. My legs aren't very swollen. Would wrapping both legs be any benefit to me? Honestly, I really think that you're going to see wrapping become a new beauty technique, because it's, the older you get, your skin becomes less, it becomes less firm, right? And the older you get, your skin loses its elasticity and its durability, in a sense where your skin is supposed to act as kind of that cast on top of your skin. Anybody would actually benefit from wrapping. All of my ladies who don't have lymphedema, they really want to be wrapped, because they understand that the muscle, when the muscle is activated and it's pushing into, let's say, your bandages, because it is a very rigid surface, it's going to help push any additional fluid and also fat out of your body. So if you have cellulitis, again, not cellulitis, cellulite, wrong word, it would be beneficial. So wrapping does benefit everybody. And if you haven't tried it, either message Amy and message myself after this conference, and we'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction, or at least give you a demonstration as to how they work. But wrapping, if done properly, would benefit absolutely everybody, because ultimately we're just a little human molecule, you guys. We're completely susceptible to our environment. And if we have some rigidity and have something protective over our skin, it's going to help increase circulation. It's going to help promote the lymphatic drainage. It's going to just do so many wonderful benefits. So just don't think that, oh, I'm too old, forget about it, because ultimately it's a great tool for anybody, especially when it's done properly. Amy wants to know if I have 3 bandage rolls to get all the way up to my groin. I grabbed the 2 small ones accidentally. The longer ones are here. So the 2 longer ones would have gone all the way to my groin. I grabbed the shorter ones because I was busy talking. So, and again, this is where going to the sizing chart on, where's your sizing chart, Amy?
It's on hybridbandaging.com. It's in the same locations that would be on the self-bandaging page.
So yeah, so again, look at that sizing chart. My personal recommendation, and I don't know how you feel, always go longer. I know for me, I don't mind having more excess in length. So if you're not really certain, again, hit up Amy. She'll be more than happy to help you get sized, but I personally prefer the longer the better. Pricing wise, again, all the pricing is up on the website. The pricing changes per length and width of the bandage. So again, I know that's a little bit ambiguous. So again, if you are looking for pricing, please do check there.
Yeah. So, it's funny, going back real quick, what Amanda was saying, answering that question about your diuretics and things, you also want to make sure that you speak to your physician and your therapist clearly, because we don't know what your diagnosis is, and we're not medical professionals to give you advice. But I do find it very interesting, and I'm sure Amanda can agree with this, with the fad now on social media with, oh, look at this new anti-aging thing we found called MLD. Oh, I'm pumping. This is a new thing. Well, the bandaging thing is new too. And quite a few people are jumping on board because they think it's great. It is great.
I think the Egyptians were onto something when they were mummifying everybody, like
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, you know, now that I know what it feels like to have the support on my body,
Mhm.
I feel like such an idiot. Like, even now that I've had the blessing of having like even upper body compression on, and I don't necessarily love to go without compression on my upper body now because I feel better.
Okay, so with that being said, I wear compression on my left leg now, and I know the difference between the early phase and then the late phase of what compression feels like. Because the early phase, it feels great on my left leg, and then the late phase, I struggle with it. So knowing the difference of wearing compression or not, if I didn't have lymphedema, I would wear compression. Either way, of how good it is for you.
So leggings can fit over the bandages.
So it depends on what type of leggings. I have some leggings that do, and then I have leggings that don't. I will tell you the leggings that are more bell bottom or loose at the bottom will fit. The leggings like Amanda's wearing, I think, I wear, oh yeah. So those type of leggings, or like Lululemon or any leggings like that, I wear how Amanda's wearing her bandage now on her leggings.
I would actually like to interject. So what I would do is I would bandage directly on my skin. Then I have a pair of Expanda socks. So I'll put those into, so I put my Expanda socks on. And then because of the fact that it's not necessarily the leggings that are the problem, it's just getting over the foot and the ankle that seem to roll up. So I will protect the bandage with a sock, which again helps to keep everything nice in place. And then I'll throw my leggings over top of it if I'm going out in public.
One more thing before we go. You can also, I wrap the bandage over my foot, and I wear tennis shoes with the bandage when I go out.
Yes, you can wear tennis shoes with the
Yes.
bandages. Very important, because who has gone for MLD, and especially the old way, and you got bandage and you're like nothing, and then you realize like you can't get your foot into anything.
Yes. And then you're like, what do I do now?
Yes, and then you're walking out with like one shoe in one hand, and then you got one foot on, and then you have to drive home, and you're like, oh my God, my life.
You're gonna hopscotch it to the car. All right, I just want to make sure I mention that, because when you mentioned the socks, I want to mention that because I do wear them. Oh, look, Amy, yes, I wear Converse shoes so I can stretch out the laces.
I had to wear a paper bag. I had to wear a plastic bag on my foot because it was raining that day.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to do a plastic bag because I was like, after all that work, right? And then getting it all done, and then you would see that it's raining outside and the shoe didn't fit. I was like, do you have a plastic bag? And of course, then that didn't help for the psychological aspect of it. And again, I'm just going to recap very quickly, you guys. Amy and I love having you here. We really appreciate just you guys coming and showing up and just learning, laughing a little bit about how ridiculous some of these things are that we have to deal with. But we put on a good face and a good laugh, just because sometimes it is just comedic. And I hope that us coming into your living rooms today has brought a little bit of a smile on your face, showing you something that's new and advanced for bandaging, and makes you a little bit more compliant so that you do get that size down and you get back into a lifestyle that you know that you deserve. On that note, Amy, do you have anything that you want to say before we say goodbye to everybody?
Happy bandaging. No, you know what? I really have enjoyed watching everyone's journey for Lymphedema Awareness Month, and I love seeing the new faces and the new testimonies and stories and new relationships. So keep on spreading the awareness, and come work out with Amanda and I, because I gotta get back on board.
Huge thank you to Amy Rivera for being our special guest.
Thanks,
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys.